Hashtag Smash or Hold. Do you think Ben Johnson stays in Detroit long-term? No, I don't. I think he will eventually become a head coach. I think that after this season, he probably gets a job, maybe the Los Angeles Chargers. I think that even my guy Ant-Man was talking about that. But for me personally, I think he was kind of waiting for the right opportunity. That's why he didn't take a job, say, like the Carolina Panthers, because he could have got it. What do you think about Ben Johnson and his longevity here in Detroit as OC?
See, when this question was getting asked last year, when he was in the running for jobs, I said it was too early for him to go because, yes, the offense was very good last year, but one, it's 1 year, so it's a small sample size. Now you've got to see, now that teams know what's coming, can he keep on evolving this offense? Can he keep all these points coming? Can he keep Goff upright and playing good football? And most importantly, can he do it in the postseason when there's genuine expectation on this team? So let's not forget, we've not played a game under pressure yet. Like, not one with tangible playoff benefits that we've won. The only one last year was really that Panthers game, and we got our asses handed to us. So I think for me, there's still questions about him making that gap at the minute. And I think that's why he stayed. And I think until he answers those questions and he has an offense which continually is good, gets wins in the postseason and shows that he can really be a force, I think then he'll go and do his head coaching job afterwards. Because sometimes if you jump too soon, you don't get a second opportunity if you're not ready. And I think he's very smart, and I think he'll wait until he knows he's ready. And I think that means spending a little bit more time here yet.
Locked On Packers podcaster said he has Green Bay winning the NFC North. Folks, this is something that I really stress on my channel. This is why you don't do drugs. This is the type of thing that happens, folks. Doing drugs result in thinking that the Green Bay Packers are going to win the NFC North. Dare to not do drugs, please. Please, folks. We don't want to have that here.
I think what he means by that, Mike, by they're winning the North, is obviously north of you is Canada, and the Canadian Football League is there. So maybe he's got the Packers winning the Canadian Football League. That might just be a misinterpretation of words.
Possible, and maybe there's an XFL team that's a little bit northern too. I'm not 100% sure, so it could be over there with The Rock. $20 super chat from the real one, Mike McCall AG, says hashtag FGB. Mike, what do you think about getting some of the other content creators on your show with Ant and hear everyone's opinion, such as Right or Wrong and Detroit Lions Forum? Don't want to use their names on the chat. Well, first off, I don't mind people coming on the chat. That is for sure, to come in here and express it. One of those guys will never come on my channel. Just an FYI. But thank you so much for doing that super chat. I really do appreciate it. Absolutely love it. Wolver Lion is going to be on the podcast next week. I hit him up today. He hit me up. He will be on the podcast. That's Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Do you think the Vikings will be a threat for the NFC North crown? Yeah, I absolutely do. I think they're still a good team. They went 13-3 last year. Do I think they go 13-3? Absolutely not. But they're still a damn good football team. What do you got there?
No, I agree. They're the biggest threat for the league for me because, they've sort of been there, done that, and they do have an older squad with a lot of experience in there who have been and done it. And, well, you've got Justin Jefferson in there. He can win you games on his own, and he's just so ridiculously good. And the defense isn't good enough. So, yeah, they're absolutely going to be a challenge for us.
Paul Ginder, hashtag Ant-Man, are you going to try to get to a Lions game this year, all the way from the opposite side of the pond?
Not a game. We're coming for the draft, though. We will be here for the draft, but I'm saving my money for that. It's very expensive to come over, so unless someone wants to adopt me for a weekend and bring me over, then it will be the draft. But I'll be here for that, so hope to meet you all.
I think if we get close, say NFC Championship game, I bet the Ben Johnson stays at least one more. I don't know. I think he's a head coach. Even if we get close, why? There's only 32 jobs, and I think he becomes a head coach, as he should. I mean, that's what you want to be ultimately in the NFL. You go from the ranks, from tight ends coach, Dan Campbell, all the way to a head coach at some point. That's my personal preference. I think that's what he's going to do. Would I want him to say? Abso-effing-lutely. 100%, because he's a great OC. He's a fantastic operator of this offense. He knows how to get the best out of Jared Gofford. What do you think?
See, I would hinge on I would say yes, because he'd have one more year after that. And I would like to think he wants to stay and finish the job. I think a lot of them will. Can you imagine if you win a Super Bowl in Detroit? You can have any job you damn well please after that. And, I think it will come down to who's on the market as well. Who's going to be looking at head coaches next year? I would like to think that Ben would not get some horrible franchise which is picking first in the draft and is an absolute burning ship, but maybe a team that's just, a guy who's retired, or for whatever has happened, a better team for him to be able to take charge of. I'd like him to wait for the right opportunity. I don't think he will just move willy-nilly. We saw that this year with the Panthers. He looked and went, you know what? Not for me. Not the right time. So it depends entirely on who's asking. But if we got to the championship game, I would like him to stay one more year.
I'd like to stay him forever. Let's be honest here. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. No cap. I want him to stay here forever. Let's just go ahead and lock him down to a lifetime contract. That would be absolutely fantastic. Folks, if you have not hit that like button, why not go ahead and hit it? It's free to do so. It helps the channel out. We get to 100 likes. We always do the Ultra Combo. We love doing Ultra Combos. Why? Because it's fun. Combo Breaker! It's my favorite game. It's Killer Instinct. I love doing that type of stuff. Believe what teams beat us this season. Ooh, I think... that's a toughie. Look, I think there's going to be teams that do beat us, absolutely. I think Seattle Seahawks, it's going to be a tough game. It is going to be tough. They get that mobile dual-threat quarterback. They did it last year. I don't want them to do it again, but that's a game that you could lose for sure. What about you, Ant-Man?
As much as I hate to say it, I think the Cowboys will beat us this year. I mean, it's just...
Yeah.
We're on the road to them. It's a difficult place to go. It's late in the season. I mean, given the state of that conference, they might well be competing for something, and there might be a lot on the line for them. It's just, I think we're better than them, but I could see us losing it.
Mr. Detroit City says, hashtag Adam Baydoun is the only guest you need to add, brother. I love Adam Baydoun. That is my brother from another mother of a different color. We'll get him back on there. Hopefully he's doing good. I'll just hit him up and just say, hey, man, hope everything's good. That's what I do. I think we sweep 6-0 this year. Division, we were 5-1 last year. I know it's hard, but I see it. What do you think? Look, it's possible. I'm going to go on the odds that we don't, just because it's really difficult to do that. I do think that the Bears got a little bit better. And look, we almost lost in Chicago last year. So if they do get a little bit better, it's hard to go there. Minnesota Vikings, still a good team. So I'm going to go under and say maybe 5-1 again. But what do you got there, Ant-Man?
Like you said, sweeping a division is tough. Like, not even the Chiefs do that, and they're Super Bowl champions. They will lose conference games. So I agree. I feel like we'll split with the Vikings and the Packers. It's unlikely. I think, but that's not a bad thing. You're going to go through that. So I think we'll be about 4-2 or 3-3. I'd like to think 4-2.
Oh man, I don't want no 3-3. That's splitting with all of them. Could you imagine splitting with the Bears and the Packers? I don't want to do that. I
mean, I would get swept by the Vikings if we swept the Bears. That is a toll I would pay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my God.
Love listening to your chats. Well, I love having you in the chats. Ravens from Lisa, that's potential there. And I want a revenge game. After a 66-yard field goal, done. I want a revenge game. I hope the Lions kick their ass. I'm going to keep it that way because I really want that to be done. Needs to have it. Yes, the last 6 games is the hardest for on the road. Yeah, it is tough. It's tough, but you want to know what? That's what you want to do, is go and face these hard teams before the playoffs. I think that's the best way. I don't want to go into the playoffs cool. I want to go in there steaming hot. That's what I want to do, like an engine. If I miss your question, don't be upset. Throw it in the comment section. Again, copy, paste, say, Mike, stop missing my comments. You're being an a-hole. I'll definitely get to it. Hashtag F to Bears. Barring injury Do you think Brad is done in free agency? Yes, I do. Unless you're talking about some depth competing player that probably won't even make the 53-man roster. I do believe so. Your thoughts, Ant-Man?
Yeah, I think Brad is going to wait for the trade deadline now until all that juicy, low-hanging fruit comes onto the market. We've got the cap to take on contracts, to get these guys in and really push this year. So I think we're done for now. But when the trade deadline comes, if we're, 500 plus, then that's when the money will get spent.
I saw ESPN has us playing 5 teams better than us this year in their power rankings. Why does everyone project us to lose to lesser teams? I didn't see that, but this is the reason why. They're the Lions. That's all I hear. They don't actually do facts. They don't talk about stats. They just say the Lions. So I don't know why ESPN does what ESPN does. Some of those analysts, not everybody, but generally it's not based on reality. It's just based on past misery. And I get it. Look, I get it. We've had past misery, but we weren't cannibals before, folks. All right? We were just normal team that ate normal food, just normal meat from cows. This time we eat human beings. And it's different. When you eat human beings, you get more power to your punch. We eat kneecaps. Hashtag FGB. Which quarterbacks retire after this year most likely? Did Matt Ryan retire yet? I don't know. I don't know if he did or not. So I'd probably say Matt Ryan.
I don't think he's been picked up.
Oh, he'd been picked up?
I don't think he's been picked up.
Okay.
I think he's an analyst now for this season. I think
really? Well, so then
someone's got him.
Yeah. We can say, I would say I'd probably put him in there. Carson Wentz, maybe he retires after this season. He's beat up, tore up from the floor up. Could Karen Rodgers retire? Yeah, man.
If they have I was going to say Stafford. I think Stafford's done after this year. They really seem to like Stetson Bennett for some reason, but I think Staff will be done after one more year, and that'll be because I think his contract's up after this year, and I think they're going to hit hard reset when this is said and done. So Stafford for me will be the most likely. Maybe Cousins. Cousins is done in the Vikings if he decides that, no one wants to pay him and he's defrauded this league of over $200 million somehow. I don't know how, but he's set for life. So Cousins could go if everything goes wrong.
Very possible. I'll have to find out because he lives here locally. So, and I'm probably staying in this area. We'll see. I don't really know yet. Hashtag Mike, let's say Lions beat the Chiefs and Goff outduels Mahomes again, as he did with the Rams. What should the narrative be? The narrative should be this. Detroit Lions are for real. They're for real, and they want to get to a Super Bowl. If they go out there and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs in front of the whole world at Arrowhead on opening night when they're receiving their ring, they're for real. What about you, Ant-Man?
The narrative should be that Sean McVay is a fraud if that happens. I mean, the rebuild job they've done with Jared Goff, if you can go to Arrowhead and win week 1 after what he was when he came here to what he would be then, would be phenomenal. It would just be proof that he sort of blamed all his problems on his quarterback when necessarily wasn't the issue. But I would love to see him do it. I would love to see Goff just put a middle finger to everyone this year and be like, I'm better, because the narrative is so weird. Everyone takes that Super Bowl run as the pinnacle of his career. It was his 3rd year in the league. Is he not meant to get better after that? Everyone goes, he got to a Super Bowl and it was rubbish. His career's over. It's like, Jordan Love hasn't taken a snap in the league, and everyone is drooling over him, coming in, oh my God, he's going to be great, yada, yada, yada. Goff went to the Super Bowl by this time in Love's career. There's no reason he can't be better. There's no reason he hasn't reached his ceiling yet. And I want him more than anyone to prove everyone who wrote him off wrong. And that will be the start of it. That's what the narrative should be. People should start apologizing to Jared, going, we were wrong.